Have you ever looked at someone and thought, she looks like she has it all put together, not realizing that she probably has been through hell and high water to get where she currently is now? I don't know about you, but I think about that when I see other women who look amazing and who just carry themselves well. And honestly, you may be thinking about that same thing when you look at me. I don't know. I know many of you are new here, and you're new here because of the story that I shared on LinkedIn about my job loss. But I've been through many of situations where I've been let go from a job. And honestly, by looking at me, you would have never known. But let me tell you something. I know exactly what it's like to smile through heartbreak, to show up after loss, and to still choose faith after life just knocks the wind out of you. But what I've learned through all those experiences is this: just because life has bruised you doesn't mean it has to show up on you. So in today's video, I'll be sharing some real tools, spiritual, mental, emotional, and practical, to help you to never look like what you've been through. Let's talk about how to stay grounded, stylish, and whole, even when we face transition. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, then you definitely want to keep watching. Hey boss ladies, welcome back to another video. My name is Kristen and I'm super excited to be here because today's topic is really going to be interesting. I feel like I kind of do this already without even thinking about it. So recently I thought, why not share? Why not share what I've been doing? Why not share what I know works? So that you listening in can take these practical tips and start showing up stylishly and not look like what you've been through. So real quick, for those of you who don't know me, who may be new here, welcome. My name is Kristen Johnson and I'm the CEO and founder of SCB Luxury Styling, where I help aspiring, sophisticated women in transition align their inner beauty with their outer appearance. I do that through capsule wardrobing, I do that through body shaping, and I also do that through confidence building. Confidence is something that I've struggled with growing up and sometimes still do till this day. But I will say over my journey, my confidence has increased significantly. And it all comes from a lot of what I will be talking about today, but also just really believing in myself, truly doing things scared and not really worrying about what other people have to say or other people's opinions. So I create content around that premise of really only focusing in on who you are, who you want to show up as, and paying attention to the authority that you've been given by God. And I do that through these stylish videos, providing you tips, educating you, and also just making sure that I am shifting your perspective when it comes to personal style. I'm not one to follow trends or to follow rules when it comes to fashion, because style is personal and it's something that should be personal and unique to who you are. So I'm excited to hop into today's video because I have some really cool practical tips that you can start putting into play today. So let's get into it. So number one, how to never look like what you've been through: increase your prayer life. Y'all, I don't know about you, but entrepreneurship has brought me closer to God. And with being closer to Him and having a relationship with Him, I'm praying more. I've actually set timers on my phone throughout the day to remind me to pray. And I don't change the times. They're the same times every day, Monday through Sunday. But it's interesting because a lot of the times when they're going off, I'm in the middle of doing something. So I'm not always thinking about, let me stop and pray. But the alarms are my reminders to remind myself to pray, regardless of what I'm going through, what I'm dealing with, what I'm maybe stressed out about, because I still get stressed. I still get frustrated. I'm human. But those prayer alarms are reminders for me to pray and remind me about who God is and what He's already done in my life. And prayer actually works, y'all. It actually works. A lot of the times, many of you may be thinking, well, I don't really know how to pray, or what exactly should I be saying? I don't know how to pray. Well, your prayers don't have to be long and drawn out. They can be a simple thank you, gratitude, thanking God for waking you up this morning, thanking God for getting you through the day, thanking God for allowing you to breathe, allowing you to see, to hear, to have all your senses, the stuff that we sometimes, take advantage of. And also thanking God for what you have, your job, your business, your family, your friends, all the things that you wouldn't have had otherwise without him. So start by just thanking him for what you have, and then asking him for what you want, for what you need, for what you are really needing at that point in time. Obviously, he already knows what we need, so that's not a difficult thing to ask for, but really focusing in on what exactly we need right now. So my prayer currently is just praying that God continues to increase my confidence, increase my wisdom when it comes to this current transition that I'm in, and just direct me in the right steps, the right path for when it comes to continuing to build my business, attracting the right clients, I'm saying the right things on my content and on social media, what exactly I need to do, to post, to say, all those things that we stress about, that we are frustrated about, are the things that we should be asking God for clarity on. So increase your prayer life. When you pray more, you're closer to God, you hear him more. And of course, when you pray more, it encourages you to read your Bible. At least for me, it encourages me to read more. And it's been challenging. I don't understand everything. I don't know what everything means. But even when it goes back to prayer, I'm asking God, hey, can you explain to me what this means? Can you make this clear so that I know how to pertain it to my specific life? Things like that. So increase your prayer life, but also making sure that you are reading the word and understanding what it says, and also putting that into play. Because there's plenty of times that we pray for things and we ask God for things, but we don't actually do what we need to do. We don't actually do our part. God doesn't just give it to us just because we asked for it. He gives it to us if it's a part of his plan. I've been learning lately that sometimes a lot of what we ask for doesn't even align with what God wants for us. So when we ask for something and we get it and it doesn't really turn out the way that we thought it would, we then get mad at him, which in fact, that was never something that we were even meant to have to begin with. But that's what I'm learning. So all in all, increase your prayer life. The more you pray, the closer you are to God, the better of a relationship you have with him, and the more you get clear on your purpose and the reason he even has you on this earth. Okay, so number 2, I want to encourage you to shift your perspective. Shift your perspective, not just about style, but about your current circumstances. Shift your mindset about where you currently are. This is definitely something that I had to learn the hard way, and I'm still shifting. Like the mindset shift or the perspective shift isn't just one shift, it's a bunch of different shifts. And my mind and my perspective has been shifting over time. I mean, I grew up in church, but I didn't really start pursuing God the way that I am doing now until I started building my business and, pursuing entrepreneurship. Honestly, I would say up until maybe like the pandemic, I hated where I was. Although I didn't show it on social media, I complained to myself, I complained to God, I complained to my friends, I complained to my family, because I no longer wanted to be where I was at. I felt like I have been doing this styling thing for such a very long time, and I feel like I should be a lot further. I feel like I should be making this amount of money. I feel like I should be living in this type of place, driving this type of car, doing this type of thing. And that was my definition of success. That's what I wanted to be. And because I wasn't there at the age that I was at, I was confused and I was kind of angry. I felt like I had been putting in a lot of work and doing all the things right, and it just wasn't making sense. It wasn't adding up. But slowly but surely, I started to shift my perspective, and I started to be grateful for where I was. I had a car. I had a roof over my head. My car got paid off during the pandemic. I had a job during that time that I loved. I had platforms. I had businesses. I had family that loved me. I had friends that supported me. So what reason did I have to be upset? Although I wasn't exactly where I wanted to be, I was still exactly where I was supposed to be. So when you shift your perspective and you're grateful for what you have already, grateful for what God has provided you, and even think about the things that he has done and got you through previously, There have been plenty of situations that I've been in that I never thought would end, that I was so upset with myself about for even getting myself tied up into those situations. And now I can look back on them like, oh, I'm not even dealing with that anymore. Or, oh, I'm out of that. I don't even have to worry about that anymore. So really shift your perspective when it comes to your current circumstances and where you are, and just know that you are exactly where you are supposed to be, because there's always going to be someone that is worse off than you. There's always going to be someone who is wanting the things that you have, wanting the life that you live, or the life that they think you live, rather. And you're over here looking at someone else's life doing the same thing. So you have to block out the noise. You cannot compare yourself to other people or where you currently are in your journey. You have to keep focusing on your end goal, but also giving yourself time to focus on what's happening right now and how good it is. Even though it may not feel good, it may not feel the best, it's exactly where you're supposed to be. So that leads me to point number 3. Never stop serving, even when you're hurting. When I had lost my job, one of the times where I had lost my job, I was really focused on creating. So recording myself on YouTube, recording videos, sharing my knowledge, educating people on what it is that I do, literally what I'm doing right now. But I was doing that and focusing a lot of my time on doing that back then. And it brings me so much joy. Like, I really, really love recording these videos. I really, really love sharing my knowledge. Some other things that I was doing that I really enjoyed that I plan on getting back to is getting interviewed on podcasts. People were reaching out to me to be on their podcasts and to just share my knowledge pertaining to style. And I love that. It always gave me an opportunity to share my story. So when I'm sharing my story, and mind you, y'all, I didn't always think I even had a story. I really didn't think, I thought my life was very boring. I thought I didn't have a story. This was me like when I had first graduated college. So of course I didn't have a real story back then, but now I do, because I've gone through some stuff. I went through some stuff in college too, and in high school. But let me tell you, I didn't really go through nothing until I graduated college. On these podcast interviews, I would be sharing my story. I would be sharing advice. I would be sharing tips and just bringing people through my journey and what I've experienced. And when you think about your journey, when you think about what you've experienced and what you have gone through, that humbles you too. I don't know about y'all, but that makes me feel so good to know, like, wow, like 5 years ago, I was here. 10 years ago, I was here. 15 years ago, I was here. And to think back then, I thought that I wasn't doing anything. I thought that I wasn't doing enough. I thought that I could do more. But look at me now. You know, so when you share your story, to me, that's serving others, sharing your story, sharing your knowledge, speaking on panels, recording content that's valuable and helpful, volunteering, like I mentioned, you know, volunteering your time, volunteering your knowledge. It makes you feel so much better about your current circumstances, because you're able to share what you've experienced with people who may not have even known anyone that has done what you've done, or that have completed the goals and accomplished the goals that you have accomplished. So never stop serving. And that's another way to never look like what you've been through. Moving on to number 4. Don't let disappointment distract you. I'm gonna say that one more time. Don't let disappointment distract you. Now, all of these tips can be used in any type of situation: style, business, life, entrepreneurship, parenting, adulthood, all these things. But today we're talking about, you know, how to not look like what you've been through. And it may not all be specifically pertaining to style, but just think about it. When I'm not disappointed about things that are happening to me that are out of my control, I spend more time focusing on the good. I spend more time focusing on me. I spend more time focusing on what I'm going to do, what I'm going to wear, how I'm showing up, what I'm looking like, how I'm being perceived. Instead of wasting time being disappointed about my current circumstances, I'm focusing on other things, more positive things. I don't know about y'all, but I've been disappointed plenty of times throughout my journey. journey. I mean, clients telling me no, being laid off, not getting certain opportunities, not getting paid for certain things. I've been disappointed. We all have been disappointed. And to acknowledge that disappointment is one thing. To acknowledge it, give yourself time to feel. But to sit in that disappointment, to hold on to that disappointment, to bring it up every single day, every single hour of the day, that's not helping anybody. It's negative, and it doesn't do anything to your perspective, to your mindset. It doesn't do anything good. So you cannot get distracted by the disappointment throughout your journey when it comes to molding yourself into the woman that you were created to be. Y'all have to understand, and it's another thing that I'm learning, is that disappointment pushes you in a new direction. It's literally God shifting you back on track and also building you up. When you're disappointed about not getting a thing, not getting the thing that you wanted, and then later down the line you get exactly what you wanted and then some, you get something that you don't even realize you wanted. So being disappointed about the things that you thought you were going to get, or the things that you thought were yours, is just a waste of time. I mean, I get it, we're human. So give yourself time to feel, like I said, but don't sit in that disappointment, because God has something bigger and better for you. Many of you in the comments of my latest episode 3 of the Faith Talk really reminded me and encouraged me that God has something better for me. Yeah, I may feel away, or yeah, I may be a little frustrated about a layoff, but at this point, I've been laid off so many times, y'all, I don't even feel anything at this point. I don't even feel anything enough to actually be upset about it. It's just oh, okay, it is what it is. So don't allow that disappointment to distract you from accomplishing your goals, from doing what you were created to do, from showing up as the woman that you were created to be. Let that disappointment be a reminder that God has something better for you. Another thing that I wanted to share when it comes to disappointment is some practical things that I've actually did to help me. And that's journaling, y'all. If you are not journaling, this is your sign to get a notebook, get a pen, and get back to writing. Share your feelings. Share what you're going through. Share what you want to do. Write out your feelings. Write what you're going through. Write out what you want to do. Write out your goals and date it. Dating my journal entries was honestly the best thing I could have ever done, because like I said, I'm able to go back and reread my journal entries and just remind myself of where God has brought me out of, what he has done for me. He may not have answered this prayer just yet, but he answered this one, and that one already. So journal if you are not already journaling. Another thing I like to do is exercising. I like to move my body. I am in my 30s and I have no room to not be moving my body. To be honest with y'all, I have had some back pain. I have been through it all when it comes to my body. So I really make it a priority to move my body at least 4 or 5 times a week, whether I'm on the treadmill, whether I'm running, whether I'm walking, whether I'm actually full on exercising. I'm doing something to work my body out. And working out is therapy for me. I don't know about y'all, but I enjoy working out. It doesn't feel like a task to me. Now, sometimes I don't always want to do it, but for the most part, I enjoy going to the gym. I enjoy moving my body, and it feels good. This may be another sign for you to start working out consistently, but find what works for you so that you aren't distracted by the disappointment. Last but not least, another thing that I want to encourage you to do to help you to not look like what you've been through is to build/join community, y'all. Community has really helped me to be the person that I am today. Not just family and friends, but also being around other women, other men, other people who can relate to what you are going through. So for me specifically, a community of stylists, a community of business owners, a community of creative entrepreneurs, a community of Christian women entrepreneurs. Joining communities have really helped me because, one, I'm able to hear other people's testimonies and what they've been through and what they're going through. And it is encouragement for me to know that if God is working in their life, then I already know that he's working in mine. And it also gives me the opportunity to relate to other people, like I said, going through some of the same things that I may be going through. Sometimes your family doesn't understand. Sometimes your friends don't understand. A lot of my friends aren't creatives. Majority of my friends have 9-to-5s. Majority of my friends don't have businesses. So they don't get it. For me, community has helped me to be around people that do get it and be around people that do understand what I'm going through. So that has been something that I've been leaning heavily on, especially during transitions like this, because I get encouraged, I get advice, and I get criticism from people who actually have my best interests at heart, and not just criticism from people who may be fearful of what I'm doing or maybe projecting their actual feelings on me. And I'm not saying that my friends and family do that, but we all know sometimes we do have friends and family that actually do that. And it's hard because we want to make our friends and family happy. We love them. We appreciate their criticism. We appreciate their support. And when they don't really understand what we're going through or don't really receive what it is that we are believing God for, it can be very hard. So finding that community, building that community, fostering a community of people who understand where you are and or are seeking the same type of knowledge and seeking the same type of goals that you are and working towards the same type of goals that you are is gold. So speaking of community, I'm actually building a community for SCB Luxury Styling. I have a community for all my other businesses and brands, but I do not have a community for SCB Luxury Styling. So I figured now would be the perfect time to announce it. Now the community has not started yet. It's very, very new, but I just wanted to put some feelers out there to see who would be interested. So if you're interested in being a part of a community of women professionals, executives, entrepreneurs, creatives who want to elevate their style, continue learning about how to show up with confidence and how to never look like what they've been through, then this community is going to be for you. So if you're interested, let me know in the comments. Just let me know, say yes, say I'm interested, say community, whatever it is that you feel led to say, and just confirm that this is something that I should be doing right now. Because I've tried community with SCB Luxury Styling in the past and it didn't really work out the way that I thought it would, but maybe it was just not the season for it. And I'm starting to feel like this is the season for it now. So I'm so excited for that community, and I'm so excited to see what it turns into and how it grows. So again, let me know if that's something you're interested in. Okay, so back to the video. Those were all the tips that I have for you all today when it comes to how to never look like what you've been through. So I hope this video was extremely helpful. If it was, let me know in the comments if you agree or if you love these tips and which one is your favorite, which one you use the most. And I appreciate your support in advance. If you have not already, make sure you like this video. Make sure you share it with someone who you feel as though needs to hear it. And also make sure you subscribe if you have not subscribed already. I release new videos every Tuesday and Thursday, whether it be an educational video, whether it be a day in a life, whether it be a behind the scenes. I absolutely love sharing my experiences with you all as a style savant and just, again, shifting your perspective when it comes to style. So thank you again for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.